This is Michael Gerace with Clearview Sewer Cams. It is January 31st, 2022. We're performing a video waistline and sewer line inspection through the 3-inch ABS plastic waistline cleanout on the left-hand side of the house. And we are located at 173 North Alta Vista Boulevard, Los Angeles, California. This is going toward the front of the house, going toward the front of the property, and this is going toward the back of the house. There's a barbecue there, and then we're heading toward the backyard that way. We're going to set our camera right at the opening of the cleanout and zero out our camera monitor. We get a good, accurate reading. We're going to begin pushing in. We're in ABS plastic pipe and fittings. We have some fittings here that appear to be in fair and maintainable condition. We do have some swirling in the pipe that we can see. This line may have been hydrojetted. We should be able to tell further when we get out a ways. Another coupling appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. A couple more turns. Appear to be in fair and maintainable condition. Making another drop, and those fittings appear to be in fair and maintainable condition as well. And now we're in cast iron. We transition to, it's either a cast iron waistline or sewer line. We'll locate this area later. We're at about 38 feet. We're going to push through our cast iron now. We got a little bit of water flowing. Got some buildup and some corrosion in the cast iron. And then we transition here to, can't tell exactly what it is. Looks like possibly ABS, but we do have some root intrusion and a very, very large offset right here. So we're going to pause for just a moment. We're going to try and locate this area. Okay, we located this area underneath the narrow concrete walkway along the right hand side of the house as you're facing the house from the front, and we marked it at 1 foot 11 inches deep. We do have a major offset, and we have large root intrusion in this area, and we're going to continue to push out. Now we have an offset, also large offset right there in the vitreous clay. I believe we're heading out toward the alleyway. And we also have a large crack, as you can see, right along the left-hand side of the screen from about the 11 o'clock area down to about the 7 o'clock area. There's a straight line right there. And that is also right at the concrete walkway area. Under the planter area of the, right on the right hand side of the house.
I have dogs. I'm going to close this if it's cool. Do you mind locking it?
No, that's fine. So we're going to continue running out now. We have large offset right there, and we're now pushing in. We're pushing out toward the city sewer, which I believe is in the alleyway. We'll locate that in just a little bit. We have some more root intrusion on the right hand side, and there's also a crack, large break all the way around. You can see at about the 1 o'clock area where the crack is, and there's some roots sticking through, and then it goes up counterclockwise toward about the 7 o'clock area. There's a large crack in that section of piping. We also have root intrusion, and we have a large break in this section of piping as well, going from what looks like, going all the way around from what I can see. It's about the 3 o'clock area and runs all the way around to about the 6 o'clock area, maybe all the way completely all the way around the circumference of the pipe. And that is in the alleyway. And there's more root intrusion here. Can't tell for sure if that's broken or just coming in through the joint. Looks like there may be a crack, but it's really hard to tell. Next joint appears to be in fair condition. Then there's an offset and some root intrusion in this joint. Appears to be a crack all the way around inside that joint as well. Continue to push out. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. That joint's got a little minor offset, nothing bad. A little minor root intrusion. A little bit of an offset, not terrible. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition as well. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. Got some pretty big root intrusion in this joint. And where the roots are growing, there could be a large crack. I can't really see it because of the root intrusion. And has some large root intrusion here. Looks like there's a big break here just inside the joint, just past the joint. Very difficult to try and get through. Making a turn. We're going to run some water for a moment, and we're going to locate this area. Okay, we've located the area. We thought it went out to the alleyway, but I couldn't see the city sewer. And we located it. It actually goes straight across pretty much. Across the house from the right hand side, or from the left hand side to the right hand side, and then makes a right hand turn along that walkway area or under the planter. And we located it in the front yard area as you come in the entrance to the house, the entrance gate going toward the front door. It is off to the far right before the small walk-in gate that leads you down that right hand side of the house. We've marked it with an orange flag at 4 foot 6 inches deep. Now we're going to try and continue to push out. It looks like we've got some ABS plastic piping here. And we're going to go take another look because it looks like there might be a clean out somewhere on the right hand side. So we're going to pause for a moment. Okay, there's no fitting that was raised up to grade level. We're going to continue to push out, and that was probably just a test fitting more than likely. It appears that was very possibly vitreous clay, because you have vitreous clay joint right there. Try and jump that. Won't let us jump over this offset in the vitreous clay. It's as far as we can get out. I don't know why It did let us jump over. I don't know how or why, but we did get over it luckily. Kept trying to push, it wouldn't go. Okay, so we're going to run in further. We're going to try and run all the way out to the city sewer. There's a large amount of root intrusion in that joint. We have a lot of root intrusion.
Hey man, nice seeing you.
In the vitreous clay. We'll pause for a moment. Okay, we're going to continue to try and push out. See if we can get all the way out to the city sewer. Maybe we can wash our camera lens off a little bit better. We're hitting water here and there where I'm getting the camera rinsed off a little bit, but very difficult. Very hard to push out long ways. Need another clean up at the front of the house. Turn. The mainline sewer clean out needs to be installed in the front yard area at the least. I don't believe we're going to be able to reach the city sewer, but we'll try. Pause for a moment. I'm going to locate this area. Okay, we're going to continue to push in now. We're about 320 feet or so from the city sewer. We're in the street now. Continue to push in. And I believe we drop into the city sewer right there. That's our saddle fitting. And there's the city sewer. Tie-in connection. We're going to shut down our water and let the water subside, then begin pulling back and inspect the rest of the line. So we're going to pause for a moment. We're going to locate the city sewer tie-in out by the middle of the street, so we're going to pause for a moment. Okay, we located this area just about the middle of the street, and we marked it at 8 foot 2 inches deep. marked it with orange spray paint. And begin pulling back now. We're going to take a look at the line. So this is our saddle fitting right here, the entrance to the city sewer. We have another joint right back behind it. That joint's got a fairly large offset right there. We actually drop down into it. It's kind of hard to see, but you actually drop down into the fitting, so it's fairly offset. You can see the top. You can see the entire face of the pipe at the top. That's an extremely large offset. Pulling back now, the next joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. Next joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition, as does the next joint. That joint's got a minor offset to it, nothing terrible. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition, as does that joint. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition, as does that joint. So far all the joints except for the saddle fitting, the one right behind the saddle with the large offset, appear to be in fair and maintainable condition. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition, as does that joint. Now we got some root intrusion coming in from that joint. Appears there's a crack all the way around the pipe. Right in front of us, there's a crack. Could be a joint, very difficult to tell. Doesn't look like a joint, looks more like a crack. That could be the inspection T. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. There's a fairly large offset there. Making a turn, there's offset in that joint. We have a crack. Here's we have a crack in that joint. A crack in that section of pipe, and then we have another break in this area. I'm going to pause. We're going to mark this area out. Okay, we've relocated our camera equipment to the rear left side of the property, adjacent to the bathroom on the west end of the house and the garage area. This is our patio area. That's the garage door and the ADU. And we have a crawl space here, and we have a ABS plastic waistline cleanup. We're going to zero out our camera monitor now. We're going to begin running through the waistline. Little debris, a little bit of debris in there. I'm going to try and flush this waistline out, get a good clear picture. Okay, we're going to continue to run through. We transition to cast iron pipe and fittings about 12 feet in. We have a cast iron fitting. Then we have ABS plastic again. Then we transition back to cast iron pipe and fittings. And we have some buildup in the cast iron waistline under the house. And we have some root intrusion. And we're still under the house. Making a turn. We're just coming outside the house. And now we're on the right hand side of the house. We do have some root intrusion right there at the cast iron. Cast iron most likely is deteriorated, corroded, rotted out. And that will conclude our waistline inspection from this side of the house. So that area needs to be repaired. Probably part of the cast iron, if not all the cast iron under the house, will need to be replaced. So now we'll pull back, conclude our waistline inspection from the rear of the house. Pulling up and out of our waistline clean out. And that concludes our video waistline and sewer line inspection.